Okay. I'm going to share this with a couple people. Welcome, everyone. Gonna just give a couple people a little tiny bit of time to join. Oh. I just had to let two more people in, Marshall. Just kidding. Don't worry. I will handle it.
I feel my responsibility. I was already fired for responsibility.
Okay. It says I'm frozen. Someone says I'm frozen.
Hey guys, while we're waiting for Alex, yesterday I had sent out a survey for the community on our Monday's calls, the Rookie Roundtable, and it's a survey about upcoming collaboration, coaching that we're doing with Alex, which is going to be including all the innovative strategies, of course, AI, virtual teams, technology, systems, and all that other cool stuff that can free up your time and make your business and real estate investments more smooth running. So I would love for you all, whoever is interested, to fill out the survey. The purpose of the survey is to get your feedback of what you guys would love to get from it. Not just for us to guess, think what you guys want to, but instead get feedback from you. So
recording in progress.
If you guys can fill it out again, whoever is interested. If you're not interested, you have to fill it out. Be happy. We'll be happy. I don't mean all the legends. We'll be happy to get that. Sounds good, guys.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, hold on. Why is my online thing frozen? Hold on. 1 second. Am I frozen?
I can see you.
Okay, cool. All right. So, I owe this actually to Sherry. So Sherry and Francis, when we first talked, I really wanted to share with people in a way that people really understood what real estate, professional real estate status really means. So especially in a work, like when you have a spouse like working full time together, right? Like there is definitely this weight of taxes, and if you're in a high bracket too, like that just becomes very, very burdensome. So, like, how can you save more of your income? And this call today all is like, if I can show you guys how in real estate you can work less hours, you can actually cut your hours by half and then still end up saving more money. Like, how much more time would you get back? And then also, like, what can you do with that time and also the savings of the money? So first, I want to introduce real estate professional status. Like, what is that, right? Being a professional real estate, like if you have that status, it's just seriously like it's a tax code that really allows you to offset your W-2 income with losses from real estate investing legally. Okay, so it's legally gonna lower your tax bills. It's actually the way that I haven't paid taxes in 5 years. Actually, each year I have carried over negative losses to the following year income. So when you get into this, like when you actually get into real estate investing and you get to this space, this is when all the magic really happens, because any amount of money that you start to make, you now just talk to your CPA. And of course, all of this, make sure you verify with your CPA. If your CPA doesn't understand this, get a new CPA, because that means the CPA is not a real estate, CPA, and you want to make sure that you have one that is specifically in that domain. And so all it takes, also, the really cool part is only one spouse has to be a real estate professional. And it means that both sides, both can take the, wait, let me let people in. Both can take the losses against your active income, so your W-2 income. So I'm going to break this down for you guys. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like and what it means. And if you have any questions, feel free to just, if you're not getting any of it, I want you guys to understand all of it as we're going through it. So I don't want you to get lost. And if you get lost, like not asking the questions, and then missing the rest of it. Because oftentimes we don't ask the questions, and then we can't understand the rest of it, right? So I want you guys to ask that. The more elementary the questions, actually probably the better. So, okay.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because you said W-2, is it only for W-2?
It's for all active income, any income actually. So right now I'm gearing this towards two people that are married and they both have W-2 jobs. Now, also, can it offset your, capital gains from your stocks? Yes. Can it offset your capital gains from Bitcoins? Yes. This is why real estate is such a, it's such a great investment vehicle, because it's huge on the tax savings. So I want to break this down. Oh, record on eCam also. I think it's already doing it. Okay, hopefully it is. Where was I? Okay, so breaking this down for you guys, and some people know this, but this is probably the coolest thing that I ever learned in the real estate place. And so I want to share with you guys, and I wanted to share with more people too. And I want to share with people like what we go through on these masterminds as well, because this is how we like really come together. And this is a group of people that are really committed to growing their wealth through real estate investing as well. So anyways, let me just break this down for you guys now. So I'm going to share with you guys this iPad screen. Can everybody see? If you are on Facebook or anything like that and you see this as well, or if you don't see, let me know. If you have questions, you can put it in the comments and I will answer as well. Okay, so we're going to start with, let's say, the total income of the household. So you have your spouse 1 and spouse 2. Okay, you guys are both making $100,000 a year. And so this is the equivalent of, really, really complicated math here. $200,000 as a household, right? So I'm going to go through first what it looks like not having a real estate professional status in your tax forms, and the other one is if you do have it. So let's just say you guys are now in the high income bracket together. So let's just say, for, simple math's sake, you have to pay 40% federal and state taxes together, right? So this is going to be $80,000. That means what you're really netting at the end of the year after you both work super hard is $120K that you take home and you pay all of your other bills and stuff like that with, right? So this is what you have when you finish, and both are working full-time, right? So full-time. And then scenario number 2, one decides to work half part-time, and the other full-time. And, oh, sorry, my phone. Turn that off. And so the part-time person wants to qualify for real estate professional status. So you're going to work in the real estate space, and whether it's just real estate related things, right? So you decide that you need to do that, which means you need 750 hours, okay, of real estate related things. Also, you will need at least or more than, so this is more than half of your time, like of your work, of your job, job. Okay. And so now person number 1 qualifies as a real estate professional status. We call it reps. All right. And so let's say you guys now are investing in a real estate property, okay? And we'll do it like really, really simple. Oops. So you guys go and buy a property. This property is $200,000. All right. Typically, in a straight line, there's something called a depreciation. This is what you got to understand about real estate is that when you buy this property in a straight line depreciation, you can take this 200K and deduct it to zero on paper in 27 and a half years. All right, so I'm actually made the math a little bit complicated for myself. Well, let's just do 200,000 divided by 27.5 years. That means every year you can deduct $7,272 from your, like, as a depreciation. This is just paper loss. This property, even if it's going up in value, you can still write this off against your income. All right, so now, okay, I'm going to do the same scenario. So the two now makes 150K together. All right, you make 150K together. The other way that you depreciate is something called it's called accelerated depreciation. It's called cost segregation. So, just for simple math's sake, let's say you're actually able to deduct one. Let's see, in this deal, you know what? I'm gonna make this easier math. Let me take that back. Okay, so 275,000, which gives you 10,000. 10,000 to be depreciated every year. Now, in this property, if you did a cost segregation, let's say you can basically cost segregation allows you to push all of your depreciation up to the first 5 years, and you can do an accelerated depreciation. And let's just say this $275,000 property, you're able to depreciate $150,000. Okay, you're able to depreciate $150K. That means depreciation. That means person number 1, who is a real estate professional on paper, says, hey, CPA, this year when we're filing our taxes, we are actually taking a $150,000 loss. So because I'm a real estate professional, this $150,000 offsets not only my 50K, but also my spouse's 100K full time, right? You're making 150K together. On the top, you made 200K together, and you got taxed 80K, 40%. So you deduct the 150K, which means you really have $0 due to the IRS for tax liability this year. All right, so you guys go home with 150K. With more money, 30K more than what you would have done without being a real estate professional, and you're working half the time in your job, right? Number 1, what do you do with this extra time? This is probably a lot of extra time, right? If you think about how much time you're actually working, if you cut that in half, right, what would you do with your time? Easily be able to put 750 hours into real estate related things. So, does anybody have questions so far? You could be on the social, it could be, here on the Zooms. Questions about what I just shared.
What price is the half time?
what kind of tasks you have to do
What kind of tasks you have to do for real estate?
to qualify as a real estate professional working on your properties half the time?
Yeah, so it's called um, real estate related, activities. So it could be managing a property. You could be looking at a property, right? You can be underwriting a property. You can do any of those things. Yeah. So especially if you actually buy a property or if you invest into a property. So this works for both limited partners and general partners and anybody that's really buying anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Other questions, thoughts about this part so far? Wow. Okay. Okay. Who's Michelle? Go ahead.
Okay, I have one more
Oh,
question.
okay. Go ahead, Donna.
If one person is a real estate agent, that doesn't automatically qualify them as a real estate professional, right? They'll have,
You're working in the real estate space, so I would say, yeah, you should be doing that. You can, you know, because you can be a property manager, you can be part of acquisition, you're selling it, you're doing tenant, maybe you're doing tenant relations, things like that. As a realtor, you know, all the stuff that you're doing is in that real estate space. Yeah, I would say ask your CPA, but I think we can find a way to make sure that you are real estate professionally qualified. And go ahead, Simon.
You're gonna need some documentation. You
Yes.
can't just have a license and just say, "Oh, I'm a real estate professional," and go do some other work,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have something. If you get audited, you have to. Oh yeah, you can't have like, oh yeah, I drove 250 miles this month, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. Like this is why in the beginning you should document it. But as your real estate professional, like, year after year, they don't check it, they don't ask it. Especially if you don't have like an actual W2 job. If you're working full-time W2, they're 100% going to audit you and make sure that, you're working more hours in the real estate space than you are in your W2 job. Okay, but go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to ask, from your experience, have you went for cost segregation and the accelerated depreciation? Um, have you found like a point, like when would you ask for cost segregation? What do you think is the break even on that? Like, in terms of the property itself. Like, for example, if you're buying a 10-unit building, you're probably not going to spend the money on a cost segregation study,
No, I always do.
no
Because
matter what size.
it's the reason why I always do is because I have income that I need to offset. It's not really related to if the property can handle it. I will pay for it myself if I have to, just so I can get the depreciation to offset. So I'm not paying taxes this year. Because if I pay taxes this year, that means I won't be able to, like, this just allows you to it's not like your it's tax free, it's tax deferred, so it's pushed out. Like the basis of your investment, like later on when you sell it, your capital gains is bigger because you've taken all the depreciation. However, you just go buy another real estate deal to offset that, right? You just kind of keep kicking it down the road, and it just allows you to keep more money in your pocket so you can invest more, right? Because every time that person, that the family gives $80,000 away every single year, like this is not just $80,000 saved. This is millions of dollars in opportunity lost, right? If you take this and compound it at even 7% for 40 years, this is a massive amount of number. Let alone like real estate, that could be like 20% more than that in your returns.
But
Thanks.
what I was advised so far is obviously if you're flipping a deal, right, then it's not worth doing it.
Right.
So
Okay.
general typical typical break even, I've been told is you might not want to do it if you're gonna sell it, say, under 3 years,
Yes.
under 2 years, somewhere thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, beyond that, even if you sell it, there is a recapture there. But when you capture, you're paying in the future dollars, but you're getting the benefit in today's dollars, which is worth more, right? So
Yep.
in that sense, even if you recapture in 3 years, then you'll do it. But otherwise, if it's short period, then you won't. So that was a rule of thumb. So I had asked specifically a couple of cost seg guys, hey, what's the break-even period? He said, if you're gonna hold it for less than 3 years, then don't do it.
Okay. Because I have properties and they're smaller, 4 units, 3 units, 5 units, but we've never done a requested cost segregation. Yeah.
Smaller is not really the issue. It's more about how long, the benefit period of it.
Yeah, how long you hold on to it. And this is something you definitely want to talk to a CPA about, especially a real estate CPA. So if anybody needs, I have a good real estate CPA that can support in this conversation for you. Literally multiple times a year, I'm strategizing with my CPA about how much I need to invest, how much deduction did I have from last year, and then we're also estimating because I do real estate and we do masterminds and education and stuff like that. So, I have to keep projecting how much I'm going to make. That means how much do I have to, invest or have deductions in, so.
Okay. Alex, are you going to try to get a couple of, sorry, Simon, a couple CPAs? I used to be a licensed CPA,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't, but I never did tax. I was always on the financial statement audit side
Mm-hmm.
for one of the, public accounting firms. But and you are correct, not all CPAs are the same. A lot of them are very much where they don't know certain things and they're not focused on things related to the real estate and they might not push the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So in this community, it'd be good if we could build some CPAs that, I know you had someone on in the early days, but to have that to be able to then share with others, I don't know, that might be a good thing for affiliate.
Yeah, definitely. So
Program.
So this is exactly what. So my CPA came onto the rookie roundtable call the first time, and he ended up getting 30 clients, and I over flooded him too much that it was hard for me to get in touch with him. So he was so I told him, listen, this is if we're gonna do this, this is what we need to do. You need to invest and buy other CPA firms, right, and then become kind of the umbrella for it. So he has bought 5 other CPA firms so to be able to handle this. I was like, look, if I send thousands of people to you, can you handle it?
Yeah.
So this is what he's also started his wealth building podcast. I'm like, there's got to be more ways in which you share this. We do have in our recording some things that Brent went over through that, and and listen, real estate tax laws are changing all the time, right? We have the bonus depreciation shift downwards, and then it's probably going to come back up now. Trump is nope, we're going back to 100%. We're oh yay, all the real estate people, But there is scenarios in which you actually might do a cost segregation even if you were looking to flip it. And here's the only scenario that I can think of is if you're already at the end of the year and you are about to pay taxes. See, the only reason you don't want to do a cost segregation the same year is because the taxes that you're trying to offset, you're going to end up collecting it on a sale for capital gains, right? So if you push it to the next year, then you can start planning again for next year. Even if you had to take a bigger capital gains for the following year, it's all right, now I get to plan this year again, right? So real estate becomes that game. And this is cool because now you're forced to buy real estate. You're forced to invest and buy more real estate to continue to build up the column that people don't focus on, which is the net worth column. like people don't have a lot of liquidity, great, but how is your net worth doing? How many assets, how much real estate do you have? Because at some point what ends up happening is this one goes up for sale and then you get a huge chunk of money here. Then you can't just blow it because you need to reinvest it. So you get into this cycle, which is the cycle that I hope everybody eventually gets on, and you can get there sooner than later, is to start investing and buying into real estate and then using that depreciation. Because here's the thing about the depreciation: even if you invest in real estate and you're not a real estate professional, it will offset your passive income on that property, and it keeps going. It'll let's say you get a $10,000, or even let's say here you took a $10,000 straight line depreciation on this property, and then you only had $5,000 in income from rents, right? You can still depreciate off of that, and then you get $5,000 carried on to the next year. Now, you can't use that ever as depreciating against your active income, because in that year you were not a real estate professional, but it can always offset the passive income from that property. I think passive income from all properties, but it can't, and it can also offset against the sale capital gains of that exact property. Right? So if you took cost segregation off, let's say by the end of it, you're about to sell the property in 5 years, you have like 35,000 carried over, it can offset against the capital gains of that sale of that property. All right. So these are things that if you didn't know, you would just end up paying, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I have to 1031 exchange, and they put themselves in that position. When I sell, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not even 1031 exchanging, because I don't even want to put myself into that position. I'm just going to go and invest into something that I'm going to take depreciation off of my capital gains, So like constantly I'm forced to put money into real estate, and I can't, and yes, I buy and we spend, we have a certain like lifestyle that we live, and we have expenses and stuff, but I can't spend stupidly, right? Like it's hard for me to just say I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini or whatever, right? Even if I could, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to, like, I can't wait for taxes. I don't want taxes to show up a certain way. So we have to constantly be working with our CPA doing that. Now, we have a lot of companies. Now, the companies also have to figure out like how we structure taxes in those places. If I take a distribution, then I have to like pay taxes on that, which means I have to offset against that. So like you see how this game now becomes a game of taxes and learning that space. And that's why having a great CPA is super important, not only to do taxes correctly for you, but also to strategize like moving forward. And so you have once you find a great CPA that knows where you're going, basically like I probably can't even switch off of my CPA. It would just be too much work for me. Like even if I could save $20,000, it would just be too much work to transfer over and try to create that relationship again. So, all right, go ahead, Masho.
Okay. I wanted to point out about, I was just curious, actually, I just did a little research. We were talking about counting as a real estate professional, how to documentation. So one of the things that you can document actually, and that can be the only solution, but whenever you use AI tools for transcription of your meetings, that can be very useful for you to first of all count those and really have like those hours, but also document, because you can export after you did like those author or fireflies and everything. You can export what you discussed, what did you what is your next to-do list, what is the action you're going to be taking, what action has been taken. So it can definitely support your documentation, where you don't have to really type them out, and you can have AI support you with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can also like help you to calculate, okay, have you counted as much as needed? Do you need to do more? Again, this is not your substitution to CPA, for sure not, but it can definitely support you whenever you have like any quick question. I always use AI to get like quick question that I want to get right now, right here, and it can support a lot. So just want to comment that. And I did verify, get support, but again, always consult your CPA.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Fraser.
So like I noticed you spoke into like purchasing of a vehicle. Cannot that vehicle can be written off? Can it not through this business?
So,
It has some kind of logoing or something.
well, I think it's over. It's got to be like over 6,000 pounds or 5,000 pounds, whichever one that is. Vehicles you can take 100% depreciation off of first year. So I mean, these are all. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere between 5 to 6,000 pounds of vehicles got to be. These are just different strategies. I'm just talking about real estate right now, right? Like real estate specifically on, how you take these depreciations. I want to show you guys one more thing of like when you invest passively in a deal too. This is something that most people don't know as well, is how can you get 200% depreciation? Can you get 300% depreciation? Right? Sometimes people invest into real estate simply because just the tax write-offs that they get from the depreciation, that's enough returns for them for that deal. Right? So as you understand this, you may start to find investors and also educate your investors in a certain way that now they're investing just because they need more tax write-offs. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this example real quick. So not even this example, a new example, which imagine a deal, okay, that requires $3 million. Okay, a deal that requires $3 million to buy and $6 million to buy. $3 million came from you as an investor, as a limited partner. All right, and you're like, yeah, I need to get as much depreciation. I need to get like $1.5–2 million depreciation from my investment. If I could get more, that would be great because I'm making a ton of money, or I'm selling my Bitcoins, right? And you are in the real estate. This is you already established as a real estate professional. Like having a real estate professional status, it's like more important to me than making an extra $100,000. Like I'm going to figure out how I keep this no matter what, because now I can invest in this deal. Let's say this deal actually needed. So is Amin here? Oh, I just saw him for a second, but he had a deal, okay, which they had pref equity come in. So pref equity, let me move this over. Pref equity is they participate on they're the first to be paid after the bank. Okay, and they just want their returns. It's almost like another loan. Let's call it like a secondary loan to the deal. They don't want any depreciation. Okay, they just want their 13% returns on their money. So they put in $3 million. Okay, as pref equity. They don't want the depreciation. If they don't want the depreciation, great. This other depreciation that would have gone to them, back to the LPs. Right, back to the limited partner. Now the limited partners get ×2 on their depreciation. Right, the investment. Not only are you looking for cash flow, and you're not looking for the upside multipliers, but you're also looking for what is the tax write-offs that I can get in the depreciation of this property. Okay, even if you're not a real estate professional, the upside because you get 2x depreciation. When you sell this property, right, that capture of any capital gains from this property will also be depreciated. So now you're buying a deal basically you're going to pay no taxes on. Whatever income you're going to generate from it, no taxes. Whatever capital gains you're going to get from it, no taxes. So as you learn this, and if you start to go out and teach other people, just make people aware. Because do you know how many billions of dollars is just given to the government because people just don't know? Right? People don't plan correctly. Especially it's actually worse for people that are making lower income because they're just getting their taxes taken out and they have no opportunities, not even to learn because they spend so much time just working in the W-2. There's no time to even learn this stuff. Right? So you guys learning this and anybody listening to this, as you learn this, this is how you will be in service to other people as well. Really important in that. And that's, I didn't maximize myself. You guys saw my board and everything? Did I share?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, cool. So I'll just spotlight myself also so you guys can see what I'm writing here too. So this is the importance of being a real estate professional. Okay, is everyone like questions, comments, anybody on social as well? If you have questions, you can type it in the comments. I will see it and I will answer it. What's up, Armando? Hey, Rebecca. Okay, go ahead, Fraser, and then Liba.
Is there going to be a recording of this?
Yes.
So that I could go over it again?
Yeah, there's a recording of it, and then also it will stay on my Facebook live, just, on my Facebook page. But I do a lot of live, so this thing will probably fall to the bottom very, very fast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Liba.
Hey, okay. I'm trying to be serious because I'm paid 1099 a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I pay a lot of money in taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate it.
Yeah.
So, not so much a question, but more for people listening. I mean, I'm still trying to learn. I'm getting there. At least I'm showing up. But for anyone listening, I was paid W-2 a lot, or 1099, and pay so much taxes. Okay, so you should really listen to what Alex says.
Thank you.
For real. B, how do we file as a real estate professional?
Okay.
Like me as a nurse, is that possible? Because I know you need a certain amount of hours.
Mm-hmm. Well, one, the good thing is you're not on W-2, so, but,
I'm both.
okay,
I'm
so,
W-2 and 1099, but it's all from nursing.
right. So for you, you're going to have to just kind of do real estate on the side until you can start to supplement some of that income, I would say, because this specific lesson was designed for like a couple, like a spouse, right? Two people both generating income, and how like working half the time up here, they actually take home $30,000 more than if they both worked full time, right? As a real estate professional and investing into a real estate deal. Now I would say.
What do you mean working half time?
So you missed the first part. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit for anybody that is here. So we have, you see this picture. You have person number one, person number two, their spouse. They're a couple. They're married. They both work full time, $100K each that they make, and they pay 40% federal, state taxes combined, about $80,000. They take home $120. Follow?
Yeah, I figured this out. Yeah, I think I know, because I figured this out, that if I work 5 shifts instead of 6 shifts, I actually make more money, because when I work 6 shifts, all that extra overtime makes me pay more taxes.
Yeah, but you're actually that makes sense for, you're just talking about your own hours and stuff. But now I'm talking about, as here in this second scenario, person number one decides they're going to work part-time, and they're going to become a real estate professional, which is 750 hours, greater than half of their time that they spend on real estate than at their job. Person number two stays full-time, and they make 150K together instead of 200, right? But they invest in a real estate deal that gave them 150K depreciation. That offsets, because one person is full-time real estate professional. That offsets both persons' active income, and now they pay $0 in taxes and take home $150,000. So one person worked half the time, and they're taking home $30,000 more than when they both work full time and not as a real estate professional.
So I work per diem. Everything is per diem. I don't have any full-time job. Is it possible for me to, even for this year still?
Probably not this year, but for next year you can start to plan.
2 months left.
Yeah, but you need 750 hours. Okay, you need 700. Not in the rest of the year.
No, but I've done conferences and, let's say, these calls.
These calls can qualify, I believe so. You can make.
750 hours is 31.25 days. So that's 32 days. That's not that many hours.
Okay, so if you can get 750 hours logged, right? And it has to be more hours than you've spent doing your nursing job. Yes. So now let's plan for next year, right? Let's plan for next year. Let's be smart about next year. You're going to keep track of your hours on what you spend on real estate. See, now you can intentionally justify, like, yeah, I need to be on this call than something else, right? And so then it's about calculating how much money you're going to make. And then instead of like figuring out how you can invest money in a way that's going to give you more depreciation so you can offset your active income. But you have to be a real estate professional, right? So maybe you're like, well, if I worked, over 750 hours, that's not going to be working for me. So even if I make extra money, it's actually going to cost me my real estate professional status. So let me not do that. This is just all about, you're going to need to strategize this yourself, and you're going to need to, it only makes sense if you start to invest in real estate. Now, you can also be a general partner, and in deals, you can also take depreciation as well, So based off of your equity in the deal, based off if you put money in the deal, those are all ways you can be. Like most deals, I'm like general partner and limited partner on, because we'll throw money in as a initial risk, and then we just drop it into the LP section and be a limited partner as well. But
I think there's a chance that the other group, there would be a deal that would still close before the end of the year. It's like too late.
This Simon's got a deal that's going to close before the end of the year. So
if I put money into that.
Okay, you're going to now have to talk to a CPA, because you're not a real estate professional, and to last minute in these last 2 months try to claim that, since we're also live out here too, I don't recommend trying to just make something up against that income. But you would talk to a CPA about the best way to offset this, if you were to invest. And I would do it sooner than later to see what's the best move for you, because otherwise you're going to owe especially if on your 1099 part, because you get to hold on to all the money. And, when people hold on to the money, they're not going to have money for IRS later.
I found this out in 2020. I paid almost $80,000 in taxes.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah. If I had to pay $80,000 in taxes, I would throw up. So, this, but most people just willingly do this. I know my sister and her husband, they just willingly pay over $80,000 a year in taxes. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Nobody realizes. People don't realize.
Yeah, but it's time.
The side is it's a bad problem to have, guys.
Yeah.
It's a bad problem to have. So kind of just to right size that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I've paid a lot over the years in taxes, but you're paying a lot because you make a lot, Leva. I mean,
yeah, but I lost so much. I didn't have property, dependents, people I'm supporting.
No, I understand. It's just, I understand. And then being, yes. Finally, single, you don't get you don't get as high standard deduction and all that. But I just also wanted to put a little bit of light into that, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
From my perspective, that means you're doing well. Yes, are there ways that you can strategize, like Alex is saying? Yes, and it's great that we're all learning how to do that.
Yeah, and that's why we gotta learn to do this.
I just want to say, then I'll shut up.
You're good.
The events in Vegas, I told myself, I'm like, every time I show up or see Alex, I tell myself I'm gonna come to the calls and learn. So even though I'm really busy, I am trying to keep myself committed to just show up to these calls whenever I can. I love your texts because they help me with my time zones to know that they're happening. So if anyone tells you that you send a lot of texts, I love them, so keep sending them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take offense to people hitting stop, except the people that I know very well, and when they hit stop, it hurts a little bit. If I see Michelle hitting stop on the text message, I'm gonna be like, what did I do? I'm gonna beat myself up for a little bit. So, and then I'll probably get upset at Nick after, and so it trickles down. So don't hit stop, guys. It's about learning this stuff now. And once you learn it, you don't unlearn it, because you're gonna be like, I'm doing well. That's why I'm paying a lot of taxes. But also, oh my God, how much taxes did I just blow? Like in like how many years did I do this? And if I just knew this earlier. So, you know, it's so important we get this out as much as possible, because I do believe that what we're doing is it's just educating people so that they can make the right moves. And because when you're buying real estate and you're doing these types of things, it's stimulating also the economy. You're using the taxes in also a good way. It's not like I'm just keeping it for myself. It's like I'm also providing, like, small businesses, more people are in. If I buy a piece of real estate, I'm also like, a lot of people are going to benefit from that, right? There's contractors, there's, you know, people have jobs because you're buying real estate. So don't think that, like, if you have like kind of a conscience thing around all of this, it's like, no, we're actually doing more than just giving it to the government. Who knows what the heck they're even doing with it, right? Their bookkeeping and their spending is way worse than any of us, right? Like, look at the debt. Like, it's crazy. Like, no wonder our country, everybody kind of follows the same thing, have so much consumer debt, is because our country just does this. So it's either we give them the money so they can blow it on some stupid things, or, you know, we keep it ourselves and continue to grow so that we can grow our wealth too. So this is just a wealth growing tool, right? And there are so many more, and there are probably a ton that I don't even know, right? That we need to just continue to share in these communities. And as we bring more people in, more experts in, to be able to help us in all the areas, because some of us are going to have businesses that's going to need the best tax strategies. You know, just in business structure itself, a lot of times people are just tossing money to the government. So this is one of the best ways, the best things I've ever learned as a real estate investor. And my commitment is that I'm just going to be sharing as much as I can to as many people as I can. You know, somebody's going to be listening to this. There's some people online listening. People will be watching replays. You guys heard this. Now you carry this seed. You carry this code, this cost segregation, this real estate professional status code. You now carry it. So what are you each going to do about it? That's going to be the most important thing, right? As we move forward, keeping this in mind, like, how will we navigate the next year, 2025, 2026, 2027, right? So that's really what I had prepared for you guys. I'm open to just kind of answering any questions now, for anyone on social as well. Nope, I'm not still frozen. Okay, cool. Okay, anybody else here? I see some stuff in the chat. Let me open the chat. Okay, sorry. A lot of times when I'm speaking, I just can't look at chats. Please share RECPA details. Okay, yeah. Share your realtor CPA. My realtor CPA. Is that a CPA or is that a realtor? I know what you mean. I'll share. Majority of the money I made this year is 10. Okay. For those that use ChatGPT, here's a cool ChatGPT. Okay, great. If I had investment property since 2019, would that make me a real estate professional? So you're gonna have, this is part of like you keeping track of all of this, Federico. Like, just because you buy a property, you now have to track, like, what else are you doing? Are you spending enough time? I'm sure actually just from knowing you and how much time you spent on those two properties and the Airbnb and all the things you did, you probably should qualify as a real estate professional. Right? You're not in a W-2 job or anything like that. You probably should have, and you probably should have done some kind of, been taking depreciation off. Now, it's not too late. 2019. It's now 2024. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to here. It's not 2020. It's 2024. So I think you can still go 5 years back to correct your taxes. Okay. Now this is something that 100% don't take just my word for it. You need to consult your real estate CPA about doing this, because I did this in the beginning. I didn't have a real estate CPA, and I had a CPA that was just like, I was like paying 10 grand here, 15 grand there, and I thought I was saving. I talked about having a good CPA, and I was still paying. And then I finally switched to a real CPA, real estate CPA, and he was like, wow, what are you doing here? So he actually went back and fixed my taxes and got me money. Got me money. Because I was, you can go back and fix it. So you really, really want to have the right ones and talk to the right, like, all CPAs are not made the same. Okay. This was a great session. Thanks, guys, for all being here. What else? We got another 6 minutes. Utilize this time. Maximize the returns of your time. They're going to be
I have
here.
a great question.
Right. Let's go.
There's a conference in a hotel near me. I'm in Chicago, so maybe you should meet them. They're construction workers because I saw them with lanyards, so I knew they were. I'm like, what's your conference for? He's like, we're all construction workers. I'm like, so did you pay to come here? He said, no, they flew us all in and paid us to work with them more and do more work. Started explaining it. I'm like, basically like stucco on buildings. He's like, yeah. I said, oh my gosh, I know tons of people in real estate. He's like, these are your people. What's the best way to like get them to get involved? Because if this company's flying these people for this conference, they obviously must be doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conferences for construction workers, doctors, IT people. I mean, that's why a lot of, syndicators and stuff, they try to sponsor those events and just try to put a booth out there and get that information. Just connect with whoever you can, because at some point they're going to be your point of contact to all these other people. So you just do what you do, be friends with them, get their phone numbers, talk with them, right? Oh, thanks, Cynthia. Appreciate it. Okay, so Hawk, who's also here, he is very well knowledge in this space as well. So glad you're here, brother.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, I was driving. Just actually walked in the house. Great session as always. Just for those who don't know, I've been in. I was a real estate investor since 2010, doing my own rentals, and I recently converted to kind of just getting deeply into multifamily, and have a lot of partners, a lot of deals I'm in. So, I've done it the last 2 years, and I mean it's been astronomically just amazing, right? I didn't pay taxes the last 2 years, and I've gotten big refunds. I do have a question though, Alex. Because my wife and I, we both have W-2s. We both work for the government, and of course that's an 80-hour pay period, 40 hours a week. So my wife works remotely, full time, but I actually go in the office about 3 times a week, from about like 10 to 2. And a lot of times when I'm at home, when I have downtime in meetings, I'm doing broker calls, I'm having calls with partners. Just the normal real estate stuff, along the life cycle of just acquiring properties. How would can you give like a use case of a situation like that if, for example, spouse 1 and spouse 2 maybe split the hours, 750 hours, or do you recommend just one person taking on the full preponderance of accomplishing those hours?
No, I would just take one person to do it, One person to do it because, like if you have 2 people doing, you're kind of like both half in, half out type of thing, right? Just let one person focus fully onto this. Like you're already in this game, right? And just fully be in it. And just like this scenario, I would really consider doing the numbers and looking, does it make sense to both be working full time here, right? Because you're already spending basically full time in real estate, full time in that. And then you also have, a sports agency like... Like, dang. Right? So, like, does it actually make sense to get to work full-time both, right? Like, in this scenario, you can already see, like, just this simple scenario, you guys can, look at it yourself. It almost always makes sense to have one person go half and become a, real estate professional. Because if you were to try to challenge the IRS and be like, okay, well, I'm working full-time doing this, but I'm also full-time real estate, right? They're going to audit you pretty hard looking at that, right? So you might as well just be like, I'll take part-time. Let me get some more of my time back, spend more time with family, doing real estate, and knowing that you're actually making more money by giving yourself more time, right? Just in tax savings, yeah. Yeah. So I think anybody that's watching this that is if you're wanting to get into real estate, number 1, 2, you're married, like one of you guys got to really consider let's pursue the real estate professional status. because that is going to, at the end of the day, like save you so much more money. And if we really think about, like, if we want our time back, that's the reason why we do real estate, is to buy our time back, the most precious thing for us. We can start doing that now. And as your investments start to turn and you start to have bigger cash like returns and stuff like that, now you can have both of you guys going part-time, right? Now you spend more time together. And both of you can now get into the game and be, you know, or one of you guys can pursue your passion, whatever that is. You know, and yeah, as more deals go through and year after year after year, maybe you guys can both just decide we're not working the W-2 anymore. You know, because sometimes I do have a thought. I'm like, man, I think a W-2 would just be so much less stressful. I can just go to work, come back home, and just completely not have to worry about any of that stuff. But then I'm like, oh, it's the same thing every freaking day. Like, how, like, it sounds really terrible also. So I think I'm going to choose this life better. Okay. But not everyone is built for entrepreneurship, and but everybody should consider, like, at least a side hustle to start in real estate. And then if you're married, definitely start to consider, like, this is one way to really, you know, get into real estate. Like, who doesn't actually want to get into real estate? I think everyone that I talk to at some point is like, really want to get into it, just don't know how, don't have the money, whatever. Start learning. You know, part of this whole learning education side is part of the 750 hours you can probably add on to your sheet. So anyways, last thoughts as we close out today. This is part of our Legends Ascension and Real Estate Mastermind call. So, you know, thank you guys for joining us. We're not streaming this every Tuesday, but just felt like this is a message that I really, really wanted to get out to as many people as possible.
Thank you, Alex. You're awesome.
Alrighty. Okay.
Saw those games.
Yes, you guys are great. Okay.
Thank you, Alex.
That's it. That's all, folks. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you guys later. Accelerator 2 starting on Thursday. I think we're filling in the last spot. All right. Hey, Omar, by the way, the person that you introduced me to, amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Love to hear it. Yeah, she said she had nothing but amazing things to say about you as well.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was going to be an amazing connection.
It's so good.
You were the first person to come to mind when I talked to her. I was like, you have to talk to this guy.
Yeah, she's great. Okay, cool. Talk soon, everybody.
Alex,
Yes.
real quick, we don't have a link for the Thursday call when you get a chance.
Yes, we will create one. Nick, please. Thank you. All right, guys. See ya.